The ultimate smartphone battle is about to begin. On one corner, we have the most valuable brand in the world with the most mind-blowing marketing budget that has the sole power to make people believe that their overpriced products are actually worth it. That's right, it's Apple! And on the other corner, we have the biggest tech company in the world with the most number of employees, a company that literally owns Android. It's Samsung. Both companies have been trying to destroy each other for years. Samsung tried to take the lead by being first to market with foldable phones, while Apple just ignored them, as if they do wouldn't exist. When iPhone 12 was announced, Samsung could unhelp but flex on Twitter by saying that they were the true innovator, and that Apple is just a copycat. Apple didn't respond to that and probably laughed at Samsung's desperate attempt to stay relevant. But now the roles are reversed. Samsung has actually copied Apple this time. Instead of innovating and coming up with something completely new, they took an existing product, made some minor tweaks to it, and called it a day. And this is what happens when two of the biggest tech companies in the world compete against each other. Since innovation leads to more sales, which leads to more profits, both companies will try to outdone one another to bring the absolute best to the table. But the funny thing is that both of these companies have very different approaches to this. While Apple makes a big deal out of every single event and keeps us guessing for months before finally revealing what could be the next big thing, Samsung does things a bit differently. They don't hold back. They show off everything at once. At the recent Unpacked event, Samsung showcased 4 different devices, including a foldable phone, flip phone, a tablet, and a Not only that, they also revealed that all of these products will be launched in August, which means we won't have to wait long to see them in action. This kind of reminds me of Apple's approach back in 2015 when they launched the first ever Apple Watch alongside the iPhone 6 South. In both cases, we have a flagship phone launching alongside a completely new product in the same category. Now, you might think that Samsung is copying Apple here, but if you look at the bigger picture, Samsung is still miles ahead of Apple in terms of sheer innovation. From under-display cameras to folding phones to dual screens, Samsung has done it all, while Apple is still struggling with a notch. It's no secret that both companies have been trying to one-up each other for years. But recently, Apple seems to be taking the lead by making innovative decisions such as removing the headphone jack, switching to USB-C, and not having a physical home button. Samsung, on the other hand, stuck with the same old design language for way too long. And only now, they've finally realizing that they need to make some bold moves in order to stay ahead of the competition. The funny thing is that Samsung is actually doing the right things, such as removing the notch, adding a proper high refresh rate display, finally switching to a unified camera system, but they just can't do it without copying Apple. Like, for example, the Z Flip 5 and the Z Fold 5 will finally get the same camera treatment as their flagship S23 lineup, which means we'll see a unified camera system across all of their flagship product portfolio. This is something that Apple did back in 2020 when they introduced the iPhone 12 lineup. And now, Samsung is doing the exact same thing. Another thing that Samsung is copying Apple with is the color scheme. Look at the S23 Ultra. Then look at the latest iMac. You can clearly see that Samsung was heavily inspired by Apple's color choice. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad thing because in the end, this competition results in a win-win situation for us, the consumers, but it's still funny how two of the biggest brands in the world keep on copying each other. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Subscribe if you're new here. With that being said, see you later. Peace out!